In this module, we'll be turning our attention to emotional intelligence in leadership, an essential skill set that shapes leadership effectiveness, strengthens relationships, and fosters trust within teams. Emotional intelligence is not just a soft skill. It's a powerful leadership tool that directly impacts decision-making, conflict resolution, communication, and team dynamics. Leaders with high emotional intelligence can navigate complex interpersonal relationships. They can inspire loyalty, and they can maintain composure during challenging situations. Unlike technical skills or expertise, emotional intelligence, or EI for short, is about understanding emotions, both your own and those of others, and using that awareness to guide your actions and interactions effectively. In this session, we'll start by breaking down the 5 key components of emotional intelligence, exploring how each one contributes to leadership effectiveness. Next, we'll discuss how to assess your emotional intelligence, offering tools and strategies to gain greater self-awareness and identify areas for growth. So to begin, let's examine the 5 key components of emotional intelligence as identified by psychologist Daniel Goleman. Now, these 5 elements provide a comprehensive framework for understanding and developing emotional intelligence in a leadership context. EI is a critical skill for leaders because it influences how they manage themselves and their relationships with others. The better leaders understand and cultivate these 5 components, the more effectively they can lead, the more effectively they can inspire, and then motivate their teams. So let's break down each of these components and explore how they contribute to successful leadership. The first component is self-awareness, which forms the foundation of emotional intelligence. Self-awareness is the ability to recognize and understand your own emotions, identify what triggers them, and acknowledge how those emotions influence your thoughts, decisions, and behavior. It's about being in tune with yourself and having the insight to understand why you feel the way you do. For example, a leader who notices frustration rising during a tense meeting can pause, acknowledge those emotions, and adjust their response accordingly, rather than reacting impulsively or letting their emotions dictate their behavior. Self-awareness also extends to an understanding of your strengths and weaknesses. A self-aware leader recognizes their areas for growth and actively seeks feedback to improve. This awareness enables leaders to lead with humility and confidence, making them more effective at navigating complex situations and engaging with their teams. Leaders who are self-aware are able to handle difficult situations with composure, as they have a clear understanding of their emotional triggers and how to manage them. The second component is self-regulation, which builds on self-awareness. Self-regulation is the ability to manage your emotions in a way that allows you to respond thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. It's about maintaining control over your emotional responses, especially in challenging or high-pressure situations. Self-regulation doesn't mean suppressing or ignoring your emotions. It means expressing them in a healthy and constructive way. For example, when facing a missed deadline or poor performance, a leader who practices self-regulation might take a moment to calm down before addressing the issue with clarity and professionalism, rather than reacting with anger or frustration. Leaders who excel in self-regulation are often seen as steady and dependable, even in high-pressure situations. They create a sense of stability within their teams because their reactions are measured and their decision-making is thoughtful. Self-regulation allows leaders to stay composed, make rational decisions, and lead by example, especially when the stakes are high. The third component is motivation, particularly intrinsic motivation. Emotionally intelligent leaders are driven not just by external rewards, such as bonuses or recognition, but by internal factors like personal growth, a sense of purpose, and a commitment to excellence. These leaders are deeply connected to their work and are motivated by the desire to make a meaningful impact. They find satisfaction in overcoming challenges and continuously strive to improve. This type of intrinsic motivation helps leaders remain resilient even when faced with setbacks. For instance, a leader dealing with budget cuts might stay focused on the broader organizational vision, inspiring their team to stay committed despite the financial constraints. Motivation allows leaders to maintain a positive and proactive outlook, even in the face of adversity, and to inspire their teams to do the same. Emotionally intelligent leaders foster an environment where everyone feels driven to contribute their best efforts towards shared goals, which in turn enhances overall team performance. The fourth component is empathy, which is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. Empathy is essential for building strong relationships and creating a positive work environment. It allows leaders to see situations from their team members' perspectives and respond with care and consideration. Empathy goes beyond simply sympathizing with others. It's about truly understanding their emotions and providing appropriate support. An empathetic leader doesn't dismiss an employee's concerns as trivial. Instead, they listen actively, validate feelings, and offer help where possible. For example, if a team member seems disengaged or distracted, an empathetic leader might approach them with a caring question like, "Is everything okay? How can I support you right now?" By demonstrating empathy, leaders foster a culture of trust, loyalty, and open communication. This emotional connection builds stronger relationships between leaders and their teams, which ultimately leads to higher morale, better collaboration, and increased job satisfaction. The fifth and final component is social skills, which are the abilities required to build and maintain strong relationships, communicate effectively, and manage interpersonal dynamics with finesse. Leaders with strong social skills excel at resolving conflicts, facilitating teamwork, and ensuring that everyone's voice is heard. They are skilled at active listening, recognizing nonverbal cues, and guiding conversations in a constructive direction. For example, in a situation where two team members are in disagreement, a leader with strong social skills would mediate the discussion, ensuring that both sides feel heard and respected. They would then guide the team toward a collaborative resolution that benefits everyone. Social skills are critical for creating harmony and alignment within teams, and leaders who excel in this area are often seen as approachable, communicative, and effective at fostering collaboration. By fostering an environment where team members feel valued and supported, emotionally intelligent leaders build stronger, more cohesive teams that work well together to achieve their goals. Now, these 5 components of emotional intelligence, so self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills, are deeply interconnected and mutually reinforcing. Self-awareness allows leaders to manage their emotions and triggers, while self-regulation ensures that they can express their emotions appropriately. Motivation fuels resilience, helping leaders and their team stay focused on long-term goals. Empathy strengthens connections by allowing leaders to understand and support their team members, while social skills enable effective communication and conflict resolution. Together, these components form the foundation for impactful and authentic leadership. Leaders who develop and integrate these 5 areas of emotional intelligence are better equipped to inspire, motivate, and connect with their teams. This enables them to navigate complex situations with ease, foster a positive organizational culture, and drive meaningful outcomes for their teams and organizations. Emotional intelligence is not only a valuable skill for leaders, it is an essential component of leadership that can lead to long-lasting success and positive change. Now that we've examined the 5 components of emotional intelligence, it's time to explore how you can assess your own EI. Understanding where you stand in each of these 5 areas is crucial because it serves as the first step toward growth and improvement. Once you gain insight into your current emotional intelligence, you can begin to work on enhancing the areas where you might be lacking, while reinforcing the strengths that will help you lead more effectively. One of the most direct methods for assessing emotional intelligence is through self-reflection and introspection. This involves taking time to thoughtfully consider how you handle emotions, both your own and those of others, in different situations. It's essential to reflect on how you respond when under stress or pressure. Ask yourself questions like, how do I respond when I'm overwhelmed or anxious? Am I aware of what triggers my emotional reactions, and do I understand why those triggers affect me the way they do? Additionally, consider how you interact with others. Are you fully present in conversations, or are you more focused on preparing your next response? Now, do you actively listen, or are you waiting for your turn to speak? Now, these reflective questions can provide valuable insights into your emotional awareness and your capacity to manage both your emotions and your relationships effectively. By evaluating your reactions in various contexts, you can begin to identify your strengths and areas where improvement is needed. In addition to self-reflection, feedback from others is an incredibly valuable tool for assessing emotional intelligence. Feedback from trusted colleagues, from peers, or team members can offer you perspectives you may not have considered on your own. By seeking honest input from others, you can gain a clearer understanding of how you are perceived in terms of emotional awareness, communication style, and your ability to manage interpersonal dynamics. You might ask questions like, do you feel that I listen to your concerns effectively? Or how would you describe my response to conflict or stress? This feedback can highlight areas where you might need to work on your empathy or self-regulation. Sometimes, those around us can offer valuable insights into our emotional patterns that we might not recognize ourselves. By listening to their feedback and being open to constructive criticism, you can begin to gain a more accurate picture of your emotional intelligence. Another effective way to assess emotional intelligence is by using formal EI assessment tools. Tools like the Emotional Quotient Inventory or the MSc Emotional Intelligence Test are scientifically validated assessments that measure various aspects of emotional intelligence. These tools offer detailed reports that break down your strengths and highlight areas for growth in a variety of emotional competencies, such as self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. These assessments provide objective data that can complement your self-reflection and feedback from others. If you're looking for a more formal, structured evaluation of your EI, these tools can be incredibly helpful for gaining deeper insights into your emotional intelligence and identifying specific areas to focus on for development. Journaling is another powerful tool for assessing and developing EI. Keeping a journal allows you to record your emotions, reactions, and interactions on a regular basis. By documenting your experiences, you can track patterns over time, helping you to identify emotional triggers or recurring responses. For example, if you notice that you consistently feel irritated or frustrated during certain types of meetings, journaling might help you uncover the underlying cause of these emotions, whether it's a specific person, a specific situation, or an aspect of the meeting itself. Once you identify these triggers, you can begin to develop strategies for managing these emotions in a more constructive way. Journaling helps you not only track your emotional reactions, but also gain a deeper understanding of why you feel the way you do, leading to more intentional emotional regulation. In addition to journaling, mindfulness practices such as meditation or breathing exercises can greatly improve your self-awareness and self-regulation. Mindfulness encourages you to stay present in the moment and observe your emotions without judgment. By practicing mindfulness, you develop the ability to observe your emotional state without reacting impulsively. For example, when you notice frustration or anxiety rising, mindfulness allows you to step back, acknowledge those feelings, and choose a response that aligns with your goals and values. Regular mindfulness practices help you strengthen your ability to respond intentionally to emotional triggers rather than allowing those emotions to control your actions. This is particularly valuable in leadership contexts where emotional composure and thoughtful decision-making are key to fostering a positive team dynamic. Once you've assessed your emotional intelligence through these methods, the next crucial step is to plan for development. It's important to identify which specific components of EI you want to improve. Perhaps you want to work on self-regulation to better manage your reactions under pressure. Or maybe you'd like to enhance your empathy to better understand your team members' perspectives. Choose one or two areas to focus on initially and set specific, measurable goals for improvement. For example, if you want to improve your self-regulation, you might commit to pausing for 10 seconds before responding in high-pressure situations. This pause can give you the time needed to process your emotions and choose a thoughtful response, rather than just reacting out of frustration or stress. By setting clear goals and committing to regular practice, you can steadily improve your emotional intelligence over time. Now, in summary, assessing your emotional intelligence is an ongoing process that involves self-reflection, feedback, and sometimes formal assessment tools. By engaging in introspection, seeking input from others, and utilizing journaling and mindfulness techniques, you can develop a deeper understanding of your emotional strengths and areas for growth. Once you've assessed where you stand, create a clear plan for development, setting specific goals to improve your emotional competencies. As you work on enhancing your EI, you'll find that it becomes an invaluable tool for personal and professional growth, enabling you to lead with greater self-awareness, empathy, and emotional resilience. In this session, we explore the 5 components of emotional intelligence: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. We discussed how each component contributes to effective leadership, from managing emotions thoughtfully to fostering strong relationships built on trust and understanding. We then examined how to assess your EI, highlighting self-reflection, feedback from others, formal assessment tools, journaling, and mindfulness practices as valuable strategies for gaining insight and identifying growth opportunities. Emotional intelligence is not a fixed trait. It's a skill set that can be cultivated, refined, and strengthened over time. Leaders who invest in their EI build more resilient teams. They foster meaningful connections and navigate challenges with composure and clarity. In the next video, we'll take a closer look at emotional intelligence in team dynamics. We'll dive into how to build strong emotional connections with your team members and develop strategies for managing emotions in high-pressure situations. For now, take a moment to reflect on your own emotional intelligence. Which of the 5 components feels like your greatest strength, and which one might need more attention? Write down one specific step you'll take this week to enhance your emotional intelligence in your leadership interactions. I'll see you in the next video.